What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Blazer King, and we're here with another thing of King's critiques. And this one, I was originally planning to do a bunch of videos, like back to back to back to back to back. But honestly, I think I'm just gonna shotgun a bunch of these and just get them out in one big chunk instead of trying to go through everything and deem should you watch it? Is it worth watching? Yes, no. So, I'm gonna go from the top of my watched anime list, everything I've completed at least, and give my thoughts on it real quick and say whether I think you guys should watch it or not. So, let's begin, shall we? 18IF. Or is it 18F? Don't know. Anyway, I did really like the theme song. It kind of hit. It really did. That's the main thing I remember. But the show was about a dude who's stuck in a dream world who basically has to help other people get out of their own psyches and, help them escape back into reality since they were in a comatose state. At least that's what I remember most of the cases being. Some of them didn't go so well, but you gotta see for yourself to find out who and why and what and all that stuff. Yeah, it's about God, what the fuck was his name? Kazushiro, I think that's what I just saw the name was. Tsukishiro. Yeah, Haruto Tsukishiro. Um, it's about him going through every red door to try and help people out of their state of mind, as it were. And, well, you can see for yourself to see how that goes, what kind of trouble he gets into. It kind of has action parts, comedy parts, fantasy, obviously. It was actually a really good show, though. I recall not liking the ending, but I really like the show overall. It's something you could probably dip into as one of your first anime in the fantasy mystery kind of realm. And with me rewatching Supernatural right now, it actually kind of reminds me of a few episodes of that. Just saying. So, up or down? I'd go. You should watch it. If you're into that kind of thing, you should totally check it out. Watch a few episodes, see if you like it. If you don't, you don't. 2. Hopefully I remember to also mark these. I should really be time-stamping these. Hold on. I'm gonna timestamp these so I can sort it out in the description easier. Number 2, Air Gear. This show is from the early 2000s, and it's an ecchi, science fiction-y, comedy, kinda, did I say action? I might not have. Anyway, it has those 4 elements in it, and this was probably the second anime that I was ever exposed to that actually did have some form of nudity in it, so if you're not of the appropriate age, I would recommend not doing it. Even though between you and me, I did watch it when I was like 13, 14, but yeah. For what it had of the anime, because apparently it didn't even scratch the surface of the manga, so one of these days I plan on going back to read the manga once I can actually get a decent app on my phone for reading manga. Which, if you have any recommendations for those, pop them in the comment section, because I would totally love to read a bunch of shit, including Air Gear, Dead Man Wonderland, and all that stuff to actually get to some sort of conclusion. Because I heard the latter half of Air Gear in the manga actually was pretty lit. to use a term from this generation. But yeah, the main character, Itsuki, strapped on his first pair of skates, the air gears, and it's one of those, team versus team type deal anime, and I don't remember if there was I don't think there was a tournament or anything. It was more like street cred, but eventually it turned into a big citywide deal to where all the teams in the certain areas did compete against each other, and that's actually where the anime ended off. But the manga just kept going with it, and yeah. But yeah, if you're into ecchi and that kind of generic type shonen-y deal, since there was a lot of fight scenes that were actually pretty cool, because on roller skates they're a lot more badass. Somehow, don't ask me how, but somehow they actually made it work. I kinda hope that new skating anime is up to snuff to what this was, but yeah, just for another little quick review. It's another ecchi harem thing, people fight, argue, bitch, girls fall for the main character, a trap kinda falls for the main character too. It's one of those things, but still, good show. I really liked it when I was younger. I rewatched it a couple of years ago, and it was pretty good still, so another one of those that obviously I will say, yes, go for it and watch it if you are into that type of stuff. Ooh. This one had 2 seasons to it. Was a Netflix exclusive. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix anymore, but I'm sure you can find it somewhere. Ajin. I don't remember a lot about this. I remember it was kind of like, I don't want to say JoJo, but that's probably the closest thing I can compare it to where there are spirits, inside of or not inside of somebody, but that people can manifest to fight for them, from what I remember. I'm also gonna have to mark down number 3, because that's... Right. But yeah, a bunch of people can manifest some sort of energy, spirit, whatever from within them, and at first it looks like it's, your basic kind of people fight to, just because they can and kick each other's asses. But as I recall, it grows into more of a military type aspect that happens, and whole bunch of crazy shit goes down in the second season that I don't remember too well, but I remember lots of people getting the shit kicked out of them and dying at that. So because I don't remember this one too well, I can't really give too long a review on it. I did only watch it once, and that was a couple years ago, a few years ago, 2016, 17 maybe. But as for recommending to actually watch it or not, if you can find it, I'd say give the first few episodes a try. If you like it, keep going. It has 2 seasons, 13 episodes each, and that was pretty good. Obviously, because I don't remember it too well, it wasn't one of my favorite anime ever, but it was still pretty good. Can't really say anything bad about it. Then again, I don't remember it too well, so maybe the ending just left a bad taste in my mouth, and that's what makes me not remember it so well, but yeah, as far as watching it or not watching it, go for it. So we'll just move right into our next one with Akame no Riddle. First Akame got killed, which is one that everybody should know about by this point. We have your shonen genre, kinda harem, maybe a little bit ecchi, but not shoved down your throat, to where really say anything without giving any sort of spoilers about this? Not really, because I can't even name a main character technically aside, Akame, who is the name of the show. But yeah, let's give a quick rundown of this. You have your first group of people, the good guys, and it involves a bunch of, I'm not sure if it's magical items you could call it, but it grants people abilities between, like, transforming their entire body with a suit of armor or just a super powered weapon. Some of them are just the weapon, some of them are living creatures. Which, on that note, it actually brought about one of the most hated women of all time in anime. Before that bitch from Shield Hero. But yeah. So you have your two factions, and then the military, which hates both of them. And yeah, I really don't know where I can go with this without giving spoilers, so lots of good fight scenes, some pretty hot women, few really tragic and sad moments, like, skip like 5 seconds if you don't want to hear this, but like half the fucking cast dies, including a lot of really good characters you grow attached to, but and then you have how it ended, which, again, spoilers, skip ahead another like 10 seconds. You have the like second to last episode, which involves your main protagonist and your main antagonist dying together, and I did not see that shit coming when I first watched it, to be honest. But yeah, overall, fucking watch that shit. You have no reason not to. It's 20 some odd episodes. Sure, it's a bit, but it's like one of the best anime of all time. Like, ask anybody who's an anime fan, they will say watch it over and over again until you eventually do. And honestly, it's probably within like my top 5 shonen anime of all time. Anything else to note? Nope, so let's just kill time for another couple seconds until I hit 13 minutes so I can go into number 5, which is probably one of my favorite anime of all time, Akuma no Riddle. Like, I have wall scrolls from that anime because I like it so much. But that also might be a little bit of favoritism because one of the main genres of the show is, well, Yuri. Not, Yuri as in the gay figure skaters, but gay women, because that's the kind of shit I drink up. Which you'll see by a lot of this list when I go by it, but I'll get into that later. Anyway, you have a group of like 10 or 12 women all in class together, and do you remember, well, I'll get into Assassination Classroom soon, but I'll probably also like cut up all these reviews together by like alphabet or something to make it easier on myself. Yeah, it's kind of like Assassination Classroom, but instead of all the students trying to kill one person, they're trying to kill each other. And as I recall, whoever survives, excuse me, gets some sort of prize. Not just survival like in Danganronpa, but yeah. So you have this group of almost a dozen women trying to fight and assassinate each other as time goes on. Obviously, there are a bunch of ships that just grow naturally from, the progression of the anime. Some people aren't dead when you think they are, others... Well, actually, I'll give the biggest spoiler of all, so just skip ahead to the next timestamp and clock back a couple to whether I say you should. Well, I'm just gonna say now, watch it. So click to 6 if you don't want any big spoilers. Literally nobody actually ends up dying apparently, but it's still the actual progression of the show. Jesus Christ, why can I not remember the blue-haired girl's name? Yeah. You have your main ship, Tokaku and Haru, and at first, Tokaku doesn't want to harm Haru, and they unveil each other's dark secrets of their past as time goes on. From what I remember, Haru was actually a little bit of a badass, but she helped save Tokaku's life over and over again throughout the series, and same back at, like, they just helped each other so much, and Haru ended up getting kidnapped once or twice because of the connection they had. But it was just, there were some really good fight scenes, it was a really good plot, and obviously the gay shit was really sweet, both the intended gay shit and the subtle context of it, because there was a lot of context that needed to be looked past, and it was definitely there. Plus, you had an OVA after the series was actually over that was like extremely ecchi based. But at least it was only one episode that was actually focused on that kind of stuff, minus the obligatory swimsuit episode. But that's neither here nor there. But past the personal bias for the gay stuff, it is still an extremely good show that, like, the plot needed some looking into, and focus paid attention to it, and if you looked away for a couple of seconds, you'd look back and go, what the fuck is going on? Oh, that's probably the first time I've actually dropped an F-bomb in one of these reviews, at least. I think I'm also going off script and just going off top of my head. But, yeah. I have also been saying that too much, and I really should cut back on that, but anyway, point is, watch it, don't watch it. Like I said before, my obvious go-in is watch it, because it is so good, minus, the bias. Anywho, number 6, which is going to be, oh good, Angel Beats. I never gave that an actual review. I should probably do that at some point. Anyway. Angel Beats is another one of those anime you have probably heard a lot about from a bunch of people. And for good reason. I don't remember a lot about the show. It might be another I need to rewatch. If you guys can tell me any of these that I'm not remembering too well, if I should go rewatch them or not. But, yes, Angel Beats is one of the best sappy anime of all time. It's not a fighting show, it's not a comedy, well, a couple of episodes are kind of comedy-like, but it's just all, it's another one of those like 18IF, where the main character goes to help all the other characters to realize their dreams, as I remember, by the end of the series. And, well, that's just to help them move on. Because as I remember, that they're all already dead. Not sure if they reveal it in their first episode or not, so that might be a little bit of a spoiler. And if it is, sorry for not giving a spoiler warning. But yeah, the main character just helps them move on to pass through to the next life, and it's like, it didn't touch me that much until the last episode. I'm actually really good about bottling that stuff up personally, and it was actually a really touching moment when the two main characters just embraced for that last touching moment until she passed on, and I think he broke down crying. That seems like what would have happened, because I don't think he was a ghost. I think the rest of them were. I could be wrong about that too, but as for watching it or not after that quick little rundown, a lot of these I probably won't say don't watch for the record. But yeah, if you're into the sappy, touchy-feely kind of stuff, I would say yes, watch it. 100% watch it. If you're not into that kind of thing, don't bother. I'm not really into that kind of thing, but I like to test myself, you know? Because a lot of people say that this anime or that anime will make you cry, and so far I'm having a pretty good track record with it. I've only shed a tear or two for half those anime, and it really wasn't even until the end, or for a reason that they actually didn't intend on someone to cry about. But yeah, so if you're into that kind of thing, if you're into the whole high school, uh, like I said, the drama, the sappy, teary-eyed stuff, watch it. Otherwise, it might not be for you. What is next on this list? Unhappy? What was Unhappy? I don't actually remember what this show was. Yeah, I don't actually remember what exactly this show was. It's obviously another high school related show. I remember, sorry, I need to grab my blanket because I think I'm a little bit cold. I remember the first episode showing the girl having some sort of weird crush on one of those warning signs with the little dude on it. I think that was this show, and that was kind of a weird plot, but and yes, that is actually one of the plot holes or plot lines of the show, is that she has a crush on that little figure on the warning sign, which is really dumb for the record. So because I can't remember a lot about this show, I can remember certain scenes, like I think they played out a board game in. Yeah, this is one of those I don't remember too well. I remember it was entertaining. Whether it was really good or not, I don't remember. I remember it was entertaining though, so I'll reflect back on if you like the high school setting and comedy anime type deal, like Gabriel Dropout. Gabriel Dropout is a good example of an anime that was like Unhappy. So if you like Gabriel Dropout, you'd probably like this show. And I'll get to Gabriel Dropout later, but yeah, that's all I have to say on it. If I recommend checking it out. Can't really say if you should watch it, but I recommend checking it out if you like Gabriel Dropout and stuff like that. I know I'm not a big help as far as the show goes, but can't really give an opinion on things I don't remember too well. Maybe this is one of those shows I should go back and rewatch. You guys let me know. But anyway, what the hell? Okay, the name of this show is running on quite a bit, so I gotta figure out what the English translation. Oh yeah, we reflect back on sappy anime with Anohana. Okay. Alright. So this is not really a spoiler because it shows it in episode 1. Anohana is like Angel Beats, where it's about a ghost girl who is attached to the main character, and he was separated because of the incident that made the girl a ghost. You know, how she died. And the friends drifted apart after the incident and blamed each other and that kind of thing. And I just watched this, like, not too long ago, too, which is... I think because I didn't cry until the end, it actually is bringing up a bit of emotion back into me while I'm speaking, and... Alright, let's get to the nitty-gritty. It had some funny moments. Of course, it had a lot of sappy moments, teary-eyed moments, a lot of moments where you looked at the main character and just wanted to punch him in the face because, I mean, one of the girls who was in his old friend group had a huge crush on him, and I kept looking at the screen just saying, dude, tap that. In a sarcastic manner, of course, because, come on, they were trying to figure out what was going on with this dude's mental state, because they didn't think that he was actually able to see this girl that had died a few years prior. But eventually, near the end of the show, said ghost girl was starting to communicate with all of her old living friends, and they didn't think it was real until probably the last episode, where they played hide and seek with her. Weird, I know, but I think the only reason I'm actually getting emotional about it was because I called pretty much everything that was going to happen in the latter half of the show. And because of that, it actually did break me a little bit at the very end. So, yeah, we're just going to go on with the should you watch it, should you not watch it. And like I said about Angel Beats, if you're into that kind of thing, do watch it. It is actually worth the watch. It's a bit slow paced, but it is really worth the watch if you're into that kind of thing. Oh, God. Okay, good. Finally, a show I don't have to get emotional about. I can actually talk seriously about. Oh, my God. Yeah, wow, actually, I was getting a little bit emotional talking about Anohana. Anyway, we go from sad to scary. Another, it probably brings about one of the most infamous death scenes in anime, the umbrella scene. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just Google or look up on YouTube Umbrella Another, and you'll probably see it. Because, yeah, that was definitely one of the most infamous death scenes in anime history. Because this anime is a horror anime, again, about a ghost girl, kinda, sorta. More like curses? I don't know which to actually describe it as, because, again, yeah, it's your high school setting, like most anime really seem to be, because I'm pretty sure 90% of the anime I just reviewed were high school setting stuff. But that's beside the point. Anyway, you have your main character who is visiting his... Who the hell was he visiting? I think his mother? Anyway, he was visiting somebody in the hospital, and he met another girl, Masaki, and from the start I got the vibe that she was probably really messed up, and as the show progressed they found out this and that about Masaki, and oddly enough it seemed like she didn't exist in the record books. However, later on the show they actually did find some stuff out about her, and there was a lot of stuff about her, including the fact that half of her classmates, his classmates, didn't seem to like her for some reason or another, probably because they thought she brought some sort of curse upon everybody, and after the string of bodies that lied in the wake during the week after those two main characters met, it is kind of reason to believe that. But the finale climaxed in they found out someone a lot closer to the main character was actually the ghost girl that they had heard about. And yeah, after helping... Wait. No, I don't think they helped her move on. I think he actually had to, like, let her die or kill her or something. But that's not really very specific because a lot of people died in that. A lot of people died in that show. A lot of very unique kills in that show too. Maybe I'll rewatch it during October this year or something. I don't know. But yeah, I don't want to go too in depth with it since I haven't watched it in a year or two. But as far as like what I do remember of it, I remember a lot of people dying in a lot of unique ways, and I 100% recommend to any horror lover, anime or otherwise, watch it. 100% watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it. Anywho, I think Assassination Classroom is next, which actually would be pretty cool because I like. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, an Assassination Classroom. 2 seasons long. About, like I said earlier, a classroom full of kids aiming to kill their teacher because he threatens to destroy the planet. At least that's the base synopsis. So, along the episodes, along both seasons, the kids learn, develop, train to assassinate and kill somebody with the help of this weird alien, supposedly alien-like creature. And it's strange. Why would somebody help a bunch of kids to kill them? But honestly, it's a lot more in-depth and thought-provoking than that as the show goes on, because that's only the first season's look. Because you bring in another couple of government-associated characters and miscellaneous bad guys other than the alien who we think to be the bad guy. And there's a lot of other messed up characters that come through this show. All of the kids get into trouble. There's the 2 main children, Nagisa and Karma, who are, your respective good, bad, or that kind of thought process. Karma's not really a bad kid. He's just misunderstood. He's Vegeta. He's basically Vegeta. And, subtext gay stuff between them, but I don't drink that gay stuff as much as Akame or Riddle. But I don't mind it. That's neither here nor there, though. And the whole Nagisa cross-dressing thing. But yeah, there's a lot of messed up loopholes and plot lines that come through the second season that nobody is expecting or anticipating to happen. I remember at least 2 of them that kind of threw me through a loop, especially one involving one of the classmates. Whew. But I'm not going to spoil that either. But the entire show does culminate, and here's a big spoiler warning for you, so skip ahead just a little bit if you want. The entire show does culminate in Kuro-sensei fighting against another antagonist to basically the death. Except for Kuro-sensei is almost still alive, but he's dying. And instead of just dying peacefully, he still wants one of his students to finish him off, as he had taught them to do. So, that's exactly what they did. They gave him his one final dying wish, because, one more time, a big spoiler, he wasn't actually a bad guy. He knew he was dying soon, and because of that, he wanted somebody to kill him. Like, even before he had to fight this new antagonist, he knew his time was almost up, especially after blowing up half the moon. So, he had a good heart in the end. He really did. He taught the kids a lot. about life, about death, about friendship. And again, as one of the highest rated anime of all time, I'm going to agree with the general consensus. Watch it. You won't be disappointed. Anyway, we, did I ever finish Blue? I don't know if I ever finished Blue Exorcist, but it's on this list, so even though this is the A video, it's, I don't know, Exorcist, so I'll review it. I don't remember a lot about it. I do remember the main character is a demon, and he goes to school with everybody else who are trying to learn to be exorcists to, ironically enough, kill other demons, ghosts, spirits, apparitions, etc., etc. And some of the other students don't really care for him, try to kill him and taunt him and tease him and all that jazz, including his own brother, but a little bit of a spoiler on that. He also is a demon, from what I remember. I remember there being a lot of good fight scenes, as well as, your typical comedy type thing that are usually in these school set anime, which, like, 99% of anime are. But because I don't remember it too well, I really should rewatch it at some point, especially since I don't remember if I finished season 2 or not. I'm just gonna go with the whole watch it thing, because as I remember, it is pretty good. The theme song is actually pretty dope. But anime music usually pretty, it slams. It does. The Blue Exorcist theme is actually probably one of my favorite themes as far as anime goes. Not like top 5 favorite, but maybe top 10, top 20. But yeah, as a show in general, I recommend watching it. Just don't be an idiot like me and make sure you watch both seasons. And actually remember that you watched both seasons. Otherwise, you're going to be questioning yourself, and you don't really want to question yourself with that kind of thing now, do you? Anywho, right into the next setup. Oh, cool, we only have 2 anime left for the A category. Assassin's Pride. Ooh, this is... I just watched this recently, too, and I still don't remember it too well. Excuse me. Right. Okay. So, from what I remember about this show, it's obviously, school-based, because what anime isn't school-based? I literally think everything I've reviewed so far is school-based of some kind. Yeah, I think Ajin, 18IF, and Akame Got Killed are the only 3 things I reviewed in this that are not school-based at all. Anywho, Assassin's Pride. A school for assassins, kind of like, Akame no Riddle and Assassination Classroom. But instead, in this, it does have supernatural powers, kind of like Akame Got Killed. And, well, not supernatural power, well, magic supernatural, close enough difference, right? But yeah, the main character is actually set to assassinate the secondary main character if he is determined that she does not have any sort of mana to work with to help in her assassinations. So the entire show is her learning to use her mana that she eventually does develop in time. And it's one of those things where the potential starts out like this and skyrockets to above and beyond so she can face all of the main antagonists. I don't remember who the main antagonist is. Obviously, it's not the other main character because he actually helps her out a lot from what I recall. I do remember it being a very fun anime to watch, though. Like, some people die, some people just get their asses kicked. But overall, it was a pretty good show. I enjoyed it. One of those under the radar shows, like I'm gonna probably review a lot on, so like 18IF is another underrated show, and I really liked that. So as far as this goes, what an awkward time to yawn, especially when we're in the last two shows of this current review. Yeah. Between the supernatural, fantasy, action, a little bit of romance, all those aspects, I don't know. It's one of those where if you like the first few episodes, you should totally watch it. Like, I won't blame you for not watching it, because it's not one a lot of people talk about since it was over. But in general, check it out. You know, what's the harm? I personally give it a good recommendation, even though I don't remember a lot about it, and I just watched it again, like 2 years ago or something. But yeah, overall, I say check it out, watch it, no harm, no foul, right? And at least I get to talk about another fun one right now at number 13. Christ. And that's gonna be fun for somebody to click over to in the timestamps. Azumanga Daioh. I originally started this actually reading the manga, and where do I begin with this? It's just a really weird show. It is just a really, really weird show. It's not like episodic. Well, actually, it is episodic. It has a main cast. It has new characters who get introduced as the show progresses. So it has its canon storyline, kind of, sort of. But it really is just a high school comedy kind of show that's just really, really weird. Like, the main character daydreams a lot, and you've probably seen a gif of, like, a girl taking off her ponytails and switching them out for new ones. Yeah, that's that show, for one example of the kind of weirdness that goes on. It's not the show where the girl drinks gasoline and then turns into a fighter jet. I still don't know where that gif came from, and I really do want to know. So if you know what show that came from, comment down below, because what is the only question I still have for that moment. But yeah, it's not that type of weird, but it's still really, really weird. And if you watch the dub, it's even weirder, because the voices of these girls just... There are a couple of PokeTubers I watch, for example, who make fun of their friend, well, all in good fun, obviously, for being Southern, and one of the main girls in that show has that type of voice. It is just a really, really weird show. But if you like weird anime comedies, like I mentioned and Happy was earlier, but this is a lot weirder, check it out. And if not, read the manga, because that you can pace yourself in more and get a good laugh or two while you're on the toilet or something. Because, yeah, I really don't know how else to put that. It is a really weird show. There's no spoilers I can say, because it's just a weird comedy show. There's nothing serious to take about it. But, yeah, as far as all the anime that are actually listed under A on my anime list, that was it. And I will get to recording the B's in a few moments. But I just wanted to get at least one of these out, because I'm obviously not watching new anime fast enough, so I thought I'd record like 20-ish videos of doing this kind of thing. So if there's any of these anime that I haven't reviewed well enough, other than the ones I admitted I don't remember well enough, let me know if I should rewatch any of them or anything I should watch that's new and do a live review or reactions to, or some of those scripted reviews that I did, like Code Lyoko, and I did one more of them, but what the hell was it? Promised Neverland, right. I did Code Lyoko and Promised Neverland so far. I haven't even finished Code Lyoko yet. I'm still 2 seasons from finishing it. But I'll get to that soon. Yeah, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button and rung that bell. And subscribe to both this and my gaming channel, which both those will be popping up here in just a few seconds here. As well as the playlist of whatever, maybe just the viewer recommended video. But with all that being said, it has been the Laser King with King's Critiques, signing out. Ta-ta for now.